Chiemeze. It's so good to have you here. Look, guys, it's start of the year. Now, a lot of us at the start of the year or towards the end of the previous year, we chart a course for the year ahead. We set goals or we make New Year resolutions. We have all these things that we want to achieve. But usually somewhere along the way, we fall off our goals and we get sidetracked or we completely abandon them and we don't even get anywhere close to achieving those goals. Now, what I want to do today is to help you to articulate your goals more effectively so that you can actually tackle them, enjoy the process of tackling them, and see yourself achieving those goals one milestone at a time. Now, a few years ago, a friend introduced me to this concept she called dreamcasting. And really, it's just the same thing as setting goals, making resolutions, or some people have a vision board that they set at the start of the year, all of those things. But what I really liked about dreamcasting, when I had this conversation with her, this was a few days before the start of a new year, and we sat down together. We had our laptops in front of us and we interviewed each other. So she asked me what my big goals were, what I wanted to achieve in the year ahead. And I shared those things with her, but she did me one better. She asked me how I planned to achieve them, what it will take to achieve them, what success would look like. So she got me to break down those goals into actionable steps, because a lot of times we have these grandiose goals. I'll give you an example of a goal that I have this year. I want to get fit. That's a goal that I have this year. But what does that mean? You want to get fit. What does that mean exactly? It sounds so abstract because getting fit could mean anything to so many different people. If I just came to you and I told you I want to get fit, you might look at me and say, "Oh, but you're skinny. So why do you think you need to get fit?" But even though I might look skinny, even though I might look fit, I know I'm not fit because I don't exercise. I get tired very easily when I'm walking, especially inclines. So I know that I am not fit. But what does getting fit look like? Now, I'll also tell you from my own experience, so many times in the past, I've tried to get fit. But because I didn't have any realistic and actionable plan, I didn't get a vision of actually how to achieve this very reasonable goal that I had of getting fit. Now, you've probably heard of the concept of SMART goals. SMART, so specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time-bound. SMART. And the reality is that a lot of times we set out all these really grand goals. We want to get fit, we sign up for gyms and we do all these things. But because we can't see what success looks like, we don't even know what the destination is. And so charting a course to get there becomes really, really hard, and we get discouraged because we can't see anything tangible, anything measurable. So I want to help you with that. Now, goals can be quite challenging. They can be quite daunting. I get that. But I think that goals can also be fun. Once you understand how to break down your goals, make them work for you, you'll find that your journey to the end of the year will actually be fun. You will enjoy setting goals. You'll enjoy working towards those goals and celebrating the different milestones as you get towards your big goal. Now, I'm going to use one of my goals for this year as an example. We'll walk through it together, and I can share with you how I failed in the past and what I'm doing differently this year to help me to achieve that goal. So one goal, tried so many times in the past, didn't work out. Now I'm trying again, but doing it differently. So as I mentioned earlier, one of my goals this year is to get fit. Now, this is a goal. I can't even tell you how many times I've tried the whole fitness regimen, but every time I've started, something has disrupted and I've fallen off the wagon, so to speak, and never got back on it. Several times I've tried any slight disruption to my life. That's it, I'm done. I lose interest, I lose motivation, I lose focus, and that's it. Let's try again next time. Better luck next time. So this year, before the start of the year, towards the end of 2024, I started to desire this again. In fact, I desired it all of 2024, but because I knew I tried several times and failed, I was afraid that I was just going to start again and then just stop. And honestly, I didn't have the motivation to do something that I knew I was going to fail at. But towards the end of the year, I started thinking, okay, how can I get to this goal? This is a very, very important goal to me. It's important to me for my mental health, but also for my body, because I'm getting older, and the older we get, especially as women, the more important exercising and being fit becomes. And being fit doesn't just mean that you're not on the plus size. It also means that your muscles, you're toning your muscles, because you lose muscle mass as you get older. So it's important that you are exercising to build that up and to maintain your muscle mass, and eating right and all of that stuff. But again, I tried doing this before. I needed to figure out a way to make it work for me. So my overarching goal is I want to get fit. But what does getting fit look like? How will I know that I'm fit? So I thought, okay, I want to take up running. I want to be able to run. But running, I can just leave my house now and run. I can't even tell you how many times I'm running late to catch the train, and I just take off running, and within 60 seconds, I'm panting like a crazy person. So again, I've tried running. What am I going to do differently about it? I thought, okay, I did a bit of research to figure out what would running look like and what would success look like if I decide to take up running. And I came across this interview that a young lady did. She's probably in her mid-20s, and she talked about doing a couch to 5K run program where she'd never run before. She took up running with a goal of running a 5K. And I thought, okay, couch to 5K. First of all, ding, ding, ding. If she had never run before, I'm in good company, because I'm not a runner. I've never really enjoyed running in my life. So how can someone who's never enjoyed running actually take up running as something that they use to get fit and they actually enjoy? And this person in her interview, she said that within 2 years, she did a half marathon or a marathon. And that just blew my mind. And I thought, okay, if she could do a half marathon in 2 years, I can try running a 5K in 1 year. So I thought, okay, goal, to run a 5K by the end of 2025. So now I have a goal. I want to get fit, but I want to be able to run a 5K continuously without getting tired, without stopping. That's my goal. So tick. Now I have a measurable goal. By the end of the year, run a 5K. But how am I going to do that? I need to figure out a way to make this plan actually work for me. What do I need to help me to get there? So if I'm going to take up running, I probably need good running shoes. All right, get running shoes. Fortunately, I already had running shoes that I actually bought for walking because I'm more of a walker, a power walker, a speed walker. So running shoes, check. Workout clothes. Look, I told you I've tried in the past to get into fitness. So I already had workout clothes, check. What else do I need? What can I do to help me get there? And I looked up the idea of finding a run club to join, because remember, I'm not a runner. I don't even know how to run. So I need to figure out a way, like a kind of program to help me to build my stamina and build my endurance for running. If I try to do it on my own, I know it's going to be a colossal disaster. I'm going to get back to square one. I'm going to get discouraged again because I don't know what I'm doing. So I did some research and I found a run club called Park Run. They run 5Ks every Saturday, and I thought, oh, great, they do 5Ks. That's my goal. So let me join them. I probably wouldn't be running a 5K on the first day, but I can gradually build my momentum to the point where I'm running 5K straight without stopping. But also, like, this is just a Saturday run club. People just come and run. Like, there's no training or anything of the sort. So I still needed something to help. And I did some research to see, are there any apps out there, any virtual coaches that I could actually get signed up to that can help me on this journey that I want to embark on. So I did some research, and I eventually realized, as I researched, that I found an app during my research, and I realized, oh, I think I have an app that sounds like this on my phone. And I searched my phone, lo and behold, I already had a running app on my phone. Guys, I told you I've been wanting to get fit. So this is to show you all the different things that I've considered in the past. So I found this app. It's called Nike Run Club. So it's a Nike app, and I don't know when I don't even remember when I downloaded the app. I can't even tell you when I downloaded it, but I found the app. And as I researched the different programs they had on the app, I saw, okay, they have something for starters, for people who have never run before, that I could do for maybe 4 weeks. They actually have a 5K running program. Ooh, that is my goal. So they can actually help me on this quest. Now, remember, I asked myself, what would success look like? Run a 5K by the end of the year. That's what success would look like. What would it take for me to achieve what I want to achieve? Okay, I need the right gear, the right outfits for it, the right shoes. I need community. I need coaching. So I asked myself, what are the things that I need to help me achieve this goal that I've now set? And I went and found those tools, whether they were clothes, whether it was an app. I found the things that I needed to help me get to this goal. So when you're setting a realistic goal, you should ask yourself, you should make it specific. Now, by specific, I want to run a 5. I want to take up running. That's specific. It needs to be measurable. I want to run a 5K. It needs to be achievable. A 5K, I believe I can achieve it. And in fact, it might even be that I exceeded, but it's better to set. I prefer to set realistic goals that may seem like though they're actually too little, and then exceed those goals. Don't you think? Yeah, I'd rather plan to run a 5K and then end up running a 10K by the end of the year. That's like 100%. 200% of my original goal. How incredible would that be to celebrate? But if I say, oh, I want to run a marathon by the end of the year, and I only end up running a 5K, imagine how disappointing that would be for me. So make your goals specific, make them measurable, make them achievable, make them realistic, and also make them time bound. So by the end of the year, I want to run a 5K. Now, quite frankly, from the momentum that I've seen myself build and how I've taken to running in the last couple of weeks, I see myself exceeding my 5K goal by the end of the year. I see myself meeting this 5K run goal long before the end of the year. How cool would that be? So if you want to set goals for this year, can I encourage you to make sure that you understand the goal, make it as specific as possible. And that really goes for anything we want to do in life. Be as specific as possible. Don't leave any vagueness there. Make sure that you articulate it, write it down. Ask yourself, what exactly is the objective here? What am I trying to achieve? How am I going to achieve it? What would success look like? And then what steps can I take to get there? And then the other aspect of that is then set milestones for yourself. Because part of goal setting is giving yourself opportunities, giving yourself wins. Start with easy wins, and then giving yourself the opportunity to celebrate along the way before you get to the big goal. Because look, you have 12 months in the year, you have 52 weeks in the year, you have 365 days in the year. Imagine having to wait up until 365th day to celebrate anything. Why not find milestones along the way to celebrate? One of the milestones that I set for myself was start running. Okay, start running. The other milestone that I set for myself was, or the other measure of success was, run 3 times a week. It doesn't matter how long. At this point, I'm not interested in how long I run or how fast I run. My only goal now is to just run. And then I also started setting other goals, like run 5 minutes nonstop. I can tell you the first day that I went to park run to run with this community, I put myself in the wrong spot. I ran with the guys in the middle instead of going all the way in the back. The people in the middle are those who do a 5K in 35 to 40 minutes. And I knew I was nowhere there. Like within 60 seconds, I'm not even exaggerating, within 60 seconds, I was out of breath. I needed to slow it way, way, way down. And then I realized, oh my gosh, in fact, I already knew that running 60 seconds got me out of breath. So it wasn't anything new to me. But then one of my milestones became to run 5 minutes nonstop. So now that's an objective that I have, as much as possible, at least once a week during my runs, to run 5 minutes nonstop. And then do that for, say, the next month, and then increase that and increase that and increase that to get to the point where I'm running more than I'm taking breaks. I'm running more than I'm walking. So my first 5K, for example, I walked more than I ran. The second time, I walked a little bit less than I did the first time. So as I continue to change the intervals, my running intervals versus my walking intervals, as that begins to change and they start to inverse, then that's getting me, I'm building endurance, I'm building stamina, I'm building strength to eventually run that 5K by the end of the year. Now, the other thing that I need to do is to actually find a 5K race to join that I can run by the end of the year. Now, I'm actually being very ambitious by trying to run a 5K race by the end of April 2025. So that's also a milestone that I'm setting for myself. And now it's not about speed. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter if I'm the last one to get through the finish line. I just want to run a 5K race sometime in the middle of the year. And then I can next target a finish time, maybe finish under 35 minutes or finish under a half hour. Because I've seen people who finish a 5K in under 15 minutes. And I'm like, what in the world? So, that's goals, but not for 2025. No, that's not a goal for 2025. The goal for 2025 is to actually enjoy running, and be able to run a 5K nonstop by the end of the year. So if you have a goal, or if you're thinking about setting your goals for the year, make sure that you're not leaving them ambiguous, because that's what causes people a lot of times to just abandon their goals, because there's no sense of direction. You need a sense of direction. You need to know where you're going with that goal. You need to know what success looks like. So make it smart, make it specific, be as specific as possible. The more information you give yourself, the better equipped you are, the better prepared you're going to be to achieve those goals. Make it measurable. How would you know you have succeeded? How will you know you have succeeded? Make it measurable so that when you see success, you can acknowledge it and celebrate it. And also give yourself little successes along the way. Don't wait until the grand success at the end of the year. It's a really, really, really long time. If you don't find milestones to celebrate along the journey, it also gets easy to be discouraged. So find easy wins and give yourself reasons to celebrate along the way. Make sure it's achievable. Make sure it has to be achievable. It has to be realistic. Don't say, oh, I'm going to run 100 miles by the end of the year if you've never even run a 5K. Okay. Make sure it's something that can actually be achieved, because the more achievable it is, then the more likely you are to succeed at it. Or at the very least, find yourself very, very close to achieving it. But if you can achieve it, then why not? I would say it's better to under-promise and over-deliver. So I really think, now I'm speaking for myself, I really think that if I keep at it, I can actually run a 10K by the end of 2025. I think I could. But as someone who has never run before, I don't want to start with such a lofty goal. That's why I've set my goal. I've set my goal to running a 5K by the end of the year. If I run a 10K by the end of the year, that would be incredible. I will celebrate that. I will toot my horn everywhere I go, okay? But I'm not starting with that goal, because right now, what seems realistic to me and achievable is my 5K. And now I'm not saying that if you've built some endurance, you've built some stamina, if this is something you know you're really good at, you should give yourself something that you won't actually appreciate as success. So if you are a runner, for example, you've run marathons, maybe setting a 5K run goal for the end of the year is not realistic. There's not much there for you, because you know that will not add as much value in terms of goal and achievement to, say, running a marathon. So also don't set a goal for yourself that will seem like a failure to you. Okay. Set a goal for yourself that will actually seem like success. So make sure it's realistic and make sure it's time bound so that you can check it as you go. You know there's a timeline, and then you can set your action plan around that timeline. Okay. So for example, if, say, my goal were to run a 10K by the end of the year, I might start by, say, running a 5K sometime in the middle of the year, then adding a 7K run somewhere there, maybe around the 9th month of the year, and then challenging myself towards that 10K race by the end of the year. All right. So find ways to break it down and find milestones in between that are also time bound and that help you to build towards that big milestone, that goal that you have. So I hope this helps. And look, I'm all for vision boarding. So if you're a visioneer, you love to see your goals in pictures, then find some images here and there that you can grab onto and slap them together so that you see those goals and you're motivated every day. You remind yourself to do one thing today to get you closer to that goal. If you love vision boards, I'm all for it. Create a vision board. If you are a spreadsheet user like me, then create a spreadsheet, whatever works for you, whatever helps you to set your goals, to track your goals, and acknowledge and celebrate the milestones and the wins as you get towards that overarching goal. Definitely do all of that. Now, another thing with goals is that life happens. You might start with all the gusto, all the energy, everything it takes. You have great momentum when you start, but life happens. Things derail your goal. Maybe there's sickness, there's relocation, there's celebration. Things happen, things could happen in your life that could maybe put your goal on pause, derail you for a little bit, distract you, all of that. It's important to acknowledge that these things happen, but they shouldn't be discouragements. You can instead just consider them slight detours on your way to achieving your goal. Now, what I encourage you to do along the way is to conduct regular check-ins. Again, that's why I advocate those spreadsheets, because you have those goals, you have all the steps, everything that you need, and you can even have a tracker as well to see how you're going with each step. And if you need to revise your timeline, you can do that. If you need to revise the ultimate goal, you can do that. So for example, if say I started with a 10K goal by the end of this year, and sometime in the middle of the year, something happens, I travel overseas, and maybe it's not quite conducive I'm not able to get to reach my milestone of running maybe a 5K by the middle of the year, for example. If that's the case, then I can just revise my goal. Okay, I wasn't able to achieve 10K. Maybe I was sick, maybe something, whatever happened, I wasn't able to achieve my 5K by the middle of the year. Okay, so that means there's less likelihood that I'm going to hit 10K by the end of the year, because maybe I've missed 3 months of practice for whatever reason. So if, say, for example, you plan a 10K and then you find that you're pregnant, you're expecting a baby, at some point you probably would need to take a break from exercising and nurse the newborn, right, when they arrive. So that's life happening and derailing your plans or putting them on hold for a bit. Then you can adjust to say, okay, I know I'm definitely not going to hit that 10K target, but maybe let's try for 7K by the end of the year. That could still be achievable. What would it need? How can I adjust with what life has now presented me? Postpartum and all of that, and all these body changes that I now need to adapt into my plan for achieving this goal. Okay, so conduct regular check-ins, make adjustments if necessary, and forgive yourself if you're not able to achieve the original goal 100%. It's absolutely human to be disappointed, but it's even more human and divine, as they say, to forgive yourself, excuse yourself, and then just keep going. The most important thing is that you keep moving. Even if you don't get 100% to your goal, because there are really some things that are out of your hands, okay? There are, in reality, some things that are out of your hands. If you find that you're not able to achieve the goal 100%, so you only achieved 85% of that goal, that is a huge win. Absolutely a huge win. You should still celebrate that. It doesn't undermine the plan that you had at the start of the year. It doesn't make you any less a success. It's still something to celebrate, because look, there's lots of people that have good intentions at the start of the year. By February, they've fallen off. According to Baylor College of Medicine, 88% of people who set New Year resolutions in January fail by February. 88% fail by February. So if you got to December, or if you get to December and you only achieved 85%, that is a massive win. That still makes you the 12% of people who kept going and pursued whatever goals they set for themselves at the start of the year. You should celebrate that. I know I will. Something else that I'm doing differently this year with my goal is accountability. Ooh. So again, many times when we fail at our goals is that it's because we haven't created accountability mechanisms around us that help us to track what we're doing, keep us accountable, and motivate us, drive us, even challenge us to move towards them. For myself, I call it shaming. So what I did this year was, and honestly, I did this on a whim. I'm usually the person who would consider doing such a thing. I would give it some consideration before venturing, but I finished running one day. I'm like, oh, you know what? I should just post this. I should tell people what I'm doing. So I posted on my WhatsApp status, which I hardly ever used, posted on my WhatsApp status and told my friends, my contacts, hey, look what I'm doing. A, B, C, D. This is my goal. This is what I'm looking to achieve by the end of the year. And as if the post was not enough, I shared it in the chat with a group of friends, and one of them said, you know what you should do? You should create a video journal so that you can document your progress, and that would also help us to keep you accountable. How fun. So now I've started a video journal, and I hosted that. I host it on YouTube. It's just really 5 minute max videos, really short videos that I create every time I do a run, and I share an updates, let people know how I'm doing. So, that's also another mechanism that I've put in place to help me, to push me towards this goal. And you have people who are keeping you accountable, but are also encouraging and celebrating, because when I shared this goal, lots of people got in touch with me to say, oh, this is really good what you're doing, and gave me tips on what I should do, all that stuff. And other people also reached out to say, you know what, I feel really challenged. I want to do something similar. Maybe I want to take up walking, if not running, so you never know who you could be encouraging by putting yourself out there. But again, I know that there are some goals that you have you really want to keep close to your heart. With that, I would encourage you to find confidence, trusted people are in your corner 100%, whether good or bad. It could be just one person or two people. I usually say, I would say no more than 3 people that you tell, this is what I'm doing. I need accountability. And then again, create a mechanism for accountability. So say, are you going to give them weekly updates, monthly updates? What's that going to look like? How are you going to check in? How are they going to check in with you to see how you're tracking? And of course, they can share their own goals with you as well. You keep each other accountable. I think building a community of accountability will help you and drive you closer to achieving your goal. I hope that for this year, you choose to do goals differently than you've done them before. I want to encourage you to set your SMART goals and give yourself milestones that you can celebrate along the way to the big goal. Goal setting is such a fun thing to do. It gives you direction, it gives you motivation, it gives you la raison de vivre, as the French would say. It gives you a reason for living. So by all means, set your goals and put mechanisms in place to help you achieve those goals. So remember, make your goal specific. Be as specific as possible in setting that goal. You have your overarching goal, but what would success look like? So make it specific. Make sure that it is measurable. How will you know when you have succeeded? Again, my question, what would success look like? How will you know when you've succeeded? Make sure it's achievable. Don't set goals that don't even make sense, that you have no chance at all of achieving. For example, don't say, I'm going to fly a Boeing 707 or 787, whatever it's called, if you've never flown, even if you've never taken a flying lesson. Okay, so make sure that it's actually achievable, it's realistic, and of course, time bound. Give yourself a time frame. It gives you structure when you're working towards that goal. Ask yourself the things you need to help you achieve that goal. Do you need training? Do you need to take lessons? Do you need specific tools? What exactly do you need? Figure out the things that you need to help you work towards that goal, to help to facilitate the goal and to facilitate your working towards it. Create milestones along the way that you can win, and give yourself a reason to celebrate. Don't wait until the end to celebrate. Make sure that you're giving yourself opportunities to celebrate as you travel the journey towards your goal. Last but not least, but really, really important, set accountability structures. Make sure that you have accountability around you. It might be a group of people, it might be one person, a couple of people, depending on the nature of the goal and what you think would work best for you in terms of accountability. But accountability is really, really important, because look, if you know someone is going to check in on you and going to ask you about this, then you're more likely to get to work so that you won't disappoint them. Although really it's yourself you're disappointing, but that's how we humans are. So I want to encourage you, 2025, bring those goals out, bring those journals out, those spreadsheets, those vision boards, bring them out, set goals for yourself, and get yourself well on your way to achieving them by the end of the year. Now, I hope this has inspired you. I hope this has encouraged you. And one thing I want you to take away is try doing goals differently this year and see how it turns out. I'll bet you it will be better than anything you've tried before. Even if it's a goal like me, even if it's a goal you've worked at previously over and over and you haven't succeeded, try again. Yes, get back on the wagon and try again. But try it differently this time and see how that works out. Remember, you are valued, you are loved, you are capable of extraordinary things. Until next time, take care, stay blessed, keep shining brightly. Bye.